Hello, everybody, and welcome back to episode 24 of Eden's Realm. So, you can see here, I have been doing a little bit of AFKing for some cactus. I started out and I just had two pieces of cactus, which I needed more than that. And so I set myself up a box and quickly went AFK for just a little while, and then I came back and replanted it, and now we should have enough cactus, which will be good. And you're probably wondering, well, why do we need the cactus? And I'll show you. So, in between episodes, I have been doing a little bit of work just around the area. Oh, shoot. What? Oh, great. I hate ghasts. There we go. Praise the Lord. Oh, ghasts are the worst. Anyways, now that that's over with, I was doing work cleaning up this area and also making a path to the build area. So you can see here, I got an ice boat track and it goes just shortly down this way. Then you turn the corner and then it goes all the way down this way. So it's not terribly long, but it was long enough that I had to go and get some glass from the villagers and that kind of stuff. But all in all, it wasn't too bad. But the reason that I needed the cactus is so that I could make the docking stations like we have had in the previous the previous ice way that we had earlier. And that's not. Do I not have hoppers? Thought I did. Ah, yes, I do. So, yeah, I'll just have to throw some of these down into here, but shouldn't be too difficult. The cacti have been installed, and I might end up doing a little bit of decoration here sometime. It's not really that big of a deal, but I think overall it looks pretty nice. Got a barrel down here, and you can just throw it down and head on down. Should be pretty simple. You can also see that I've used a bunch of basalt in the design, and so all along the edges here, I've used the polished basalt, which you get from just taking 4 basalt blocks and putting them in a crafting grid like this. So it's pretty self-explanatory, but I actually ran out of basalt and I had to go and mine some. So I'm thinking that I'm actually going to make a basalt farm where our cobblestone farm is. If you remember, we turned that into a concrete farm as well, and so I'm thinking it can become a 3-in-1 type deal. But I'm going to have to go to Creative World, design that, and I'll show you kind of what I'm thinking. I'm planning on putting it over the top. It'll be easier to explain once I'm able to fly around. Well, but also, I got a new microphone, so if anything sounds a little bit different this episode with my voice, hopefully it sounds a little bit better. I think that the sound should be a little bit crisper, but you may hear my keyboard a little bit more, so I'm going to have to look into getting a quieter keyboard if this actually works. But let's go to the redstone testing world, and I'll show you what I've been thinking for the basalt generator. Alright, so I copied and pasted in the actual, not blueprint I guess, but the actual thing from Eden's Realm, and now we can have it here in the redstone testing world so that we're not messing with an inexact replica. And I need to double check and make sure that this is how I think it works. I'm pretty sure I know how the mechanic works, but I haven't used it in a long time, so I just need to be sure. And yep, that's exactly how it works. And it's pretty self-explanatory, but we're going to have to figure out what we're going to do with it here. And so the first thing that we need to do is we need to figure out how we're going to turn it on, because I want a good UI here that's not as complicated as this is. And so I think basically what I'm going to do is have a lever here with, I think if we do redstone dust here and a repeater here, what this should do, shoot, I don't fall off. Oh, nope. That's not what I wanted. That means we'll have to have a repeater here as well, but now this turns only this on, and we can use this output here, this redstone dust line, to power the clock that is going to do the pushing for this. Although, and then we'd turn this on off. But you can see here, yeah. And so then if we push it in from the top, that should solve all of our problems. But we'll need to put crying obsidian down here so that it doesn't push through. Okay, so yeah, it's pretty self-explanatory. Let me get this built up. And just shortly after, it's pretty simple, but you just got the blue ice here being pushed and moving this, and it just moves it around. Ignore the fact that all of this is blown up. There was this block here was missing, which was causing the TNT duper to mess up, and it blew a bunch of things up. But if we ignore that and come over here, see basalt is on. If we turn this on, it'll start working and pushing. And oh, I see. It's the small things like that. Should push now. Why? That's a bit push. I'm confused about. No, it is pushing down. Right. Okay, a little bit of change with the timings here. Just adding a 4-tick delay here seems to fix the entire issue. You can see now everything is working as designed, and it's all getting pushed there. So yeah, I'm super happy with it. And it's now built up in the survival world. So we can come up here. The last thing I have to do is put in the lava, which I just went to the nether and grabbed. Should be able to just put 2 there, because it should spread out 4, right? What's going on? Oh, no, no, no. What is happening? Ah, that's not good. Do I have blocks? I do have blocks. No, stop! No! Why is this happening? Oh my goodness. This was not in the plan. This is... Oh. What in the world? I am so confused. Okay. Bucket that. Does it not form on soul sand? Oh goodness. I thought this was soul soil in the testing world, but it shouldn't make a difference. And I hope it didn't break anything else. I don't think it did. Just that one, and it just fell down there. And it fell right down there. So yeah, I don't think it broke anything. That's gonna be such a pain to clean up. Because I'll show you really quick why it's gonna be such a pain. The water here won't reform. It's just gonna... Gosh darn it. That's so annoying. I'm so confused about why it didn't work. Is it not float? It's gotta be flowing lava. There's no way it would... And I'm gonna have to redo all of this. Goodness gracious. Okay. Well, that can be a project for another day, but this is why you always double check things, I guess. Huh. So you can see that it doesn't form on the soul sand. That is really confusing. Does it form if you put the soul sand here? No, but it will if you put... Yeah, that's really weird. I really thought it was always soul sand and soul soil, but I guess not. So with the soul soil in now, we should be able to test it whenever I put this lava in. Hopefully nothing goes wrong like it did last time, but oh goodness. Well, stuff is going wrong because I can't climb. Really should make this more user-friendly, but I'm not going to, because I enjoy depriving myself of the joys of life. Yes. Okay, so with that in, should be able to turn on the salt and turn this on. See here. Yep. There we go. Oh, and I need to put blocks here, or else it's gonna just push out there whenever that doesn't push out. Because you should see it here, maybe? Oh, no, 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 no. Okay, problems have once again been made. I forgot to, yeah, take care of that. That's an obvious flaw. I had actually talked about this earlier, but I just need to put in these. Alright, 7 more pieces of Brian obsidian later. We should be good to go this time. It's on basalt. Yes, that looks much better. Awesome. Yep, that seems to have done it. I'm gonna let this run for just a little bit so we can make sure we're getting the basalt, and then I'll get back to you. And about half a minute later, we have a ton of basalt. So that's really good. And from now on, we won't have to worry about basalt, and I won't have to go mining for it, because that is the absolute worst. I would never want to actually mine in Minecraft, right? Here we are at my mock guardian farm. So down there is the guardian farm that I designed, and I've been testing it a couple of different ways, and I have the results here. So with the original design, using one of the killing chambers, we were getting a little over 4,000 of the shards, 1,800 crystals, and some cod and ink. So that wasn't as much as I had hoped for, and so I put in a second chamber, and we got basically double the number of shards, a little bit under for everything, but it was all relatively good. And I decided to put in 3 shards, and this time we ended up getting almost 10,000 shards an hour. We got the max 3,600 crystals an hour. I think that might be a hard limit. I don't know why it would be, but it seemed to camp out there. But it might not be. And then some cod and ink as well. And we can go down, and I'll show you what it looks like if I just go into spectator mode. Okay. Yeah, so you can see here we have the guardians just falling directly onto the spikes like we did earlier, and then hoppers or hopper minecarts here with the stuff, and then I was using carpets. What's it? It's called. It's hopper counters. That's what it is. If you run it in, it counts it. You can see all of the stuff I've been doing with it. So that's the results you get. And so I put in 3 of them, so we'd have one here, and one here. But I think if we continued adding more, we'd probably just get a whole lot more of the Guardians. And actually, what I should do is I should go up top and I'll show you why. So when I'm up here in my spawn spot, we can go down and take a look, and you'll see that the Guardians are bunching up around the holes, and they're jumping around, and sometimes they don't fall directly in. So right here they're doing okay, but you can see oftentimes they don't fall directly in, which is part of the problem. And like even here, you can just see how many of them it's causing an issue. And so I have yet to come up with a design that is gonna fix it. I don't know if, because you gotta remember we can't just use fall damage because they won't die from this height, and we need them to die completely. So we need the dripstone to be able to kill them, but I cannot think of a way as of yet to get rid of having to use this. I'm considering doing something possibly with trapdoors and minecarts. I'm wondering if I was to send minecarts on rails, if I could do something with trapdoors so that they would slide underneath. I gotta give it some more thought and think about it, because if we can just line the entire bottom here and not have to funnel them into these 2x2 chutes, I think the rate of the farm would be super fast. But I don't know of an easy way to do that, so I'm gonna look into that, but we're gonna have to see where that goes from here. Okay, so I may have came up with a really simple solution. We just have trapdoors, and then directly on top we place the pointed dripstone. But what I'm gonna have to do to see if this will work is position a block on top of each of these and see if they'll get picked up. Now, that's a little bit annoying, but I guess we can check too. So that gets picked up, yes. And that gets picked up. Okay. So the one thing you do have to remember is that all dripstone is positional dependent. So what that means is, depending upon which block you put it on, it'll become it'll position itself in a different orientation, which means that there might be a few select positions that it won't get picked up. But as of right now, it's looking like it will no matter what, which is really, really good. And so I'm going to test all the next 16 of these and double check that it works in all 20 of these positions. But if it does, this might be a solution to our problems. And I checked them all, and they all worked, and so I thought to myself, well, I should double check that these don't get picked up here. So I threw a couple down on that, and I threw a couple down on this. And if we run the minecarts again, what you'll see is that the ones on this block get picked up, but these don't. So that gives us the option to, we could possibly use dripstone at this level and just take all of the blocks that were put on top of these at a loss, which might be a good option, because then we still have a really small loss potential, but it also would make the farm a whole lot faster. So I don't know if there's a way to do that. I also don't know. You can't do. Yeah, I don't think there would be a way to do that, what I'm thinking. I'll keep thinking about it. And I think this is the design I'm just going to go with. It's the easiest, and I don't see any flaws with it. But I don't like that I'm gonna have to do something with these two blocks to have flowing water here. I'll probably just make it so that the water flows from here, and then it flows one direction that way. So like, because we can't have just have 4 source blocks right here. So it'll probably just be each one flows one direction. But anyways, we need to decide on what the palette for the farm is going to be. Because obviously this does not look very good, and I need something to look relatively nice to go in that big hole that we've made. On the design for the farm in between episodes, but we are just about out of time for today's episode. I was really wanting to get that Guardian farm built, but in real life and in Minecraft video time, we are basically out of time. So I'm going to have to call it here. I don't really want to, but I think that's what's best, because I need to get this video uploaded and ready to go. So thank you very much for watching. I do hope that you've enjoyed it, and it's been a lot of fun for me to make as well. And I hope that my new microphone actually sounds a little bit better. It may be a little bit loud, but I don't know, hopefully I'll be able to get stuff worked out. So thank you very much for watching. I hope you've enjoyed it, and I'll see you again in the next one. Take care. Bye-bye.